Leeds United have just played against Blackburn Rovers back today, a few hours ago for me. I've decided to wait until the end of the Sheffield United versus Sunderland match to sort of do my post-match thing and have a little bit of a think about what happened in the match earlier. And to be honest, looking back on it, a point is not too bad on a day that Burnley dropped points, Sheffield United dropped all of the points, and Sunderland have sort of clawed their way back into the conversation but are a decent distance away from us. I am absolutely not too mad about what happened with the Blackburn Rovers match, outside of the fact that we were set to win for a couple of minutes there. So, in this quick vlog, I'm going to talk through what's happened, what went wrong, how we went from boom to bust, and ultimately where we're sitting at the minute. So, throughout that match, there is zero doubt that we dominated all over the pitch. Looking at the XG stats, looking at the possession stats, we outplayed them fairly consistently, fairly thoroughly. And I think a big part of the issue that we had was we weren't turning a lot of that possession in the first half into shots. It was a hell of a lot of, well, we've got the ball over here, how about we put it over here again, and then we'll look to build that gap. And it's how we sort of did it in our last match against Derby, where you're sort of trying to work a gap. Then once you've got a gap to play through ball to Brendan Aronson in that instance, brilliant, you can score the goal. Well done, you win. However, this time out, that didn't come to happen at any point because Blackburn are, and I don't think we give them enough credit for this, a genuinely very, very good side. They're currently in the playoffs, I think, or seventh. They're in that rough area and are causing all sorts of teams issues. We are not above dropping points to playoff sides, and no one is because this is the Championship. That's how it works. Sheffield United lost to Sunderland. Burnley dropped points today as well. Everyone is going to do it at some point. So anyone that is losing their head about dropping points to Blackburn, rein it in a little bit. But that pressure came to fruition late on as Mateo Joseph was brought down in the penalty area. It was a relatively soft one. I do not understand why their manager after the match was like, "Yeah, wouldn't have been given to us," because throughout that entire match, we weren't being given anything at any point. There were handball after kicky tackle after bizarre foul given against us, and we just sort of dealt with it and we kept going through it. We didn't deal with it. We were very, very mad in the crowd, but the players themselves dealt with it and dug on through. But it was a penalty. It just was. Deal with it. Grow up, John Eustace. But there were a few instances before that where I felt we should have scored a goal. For example, one ball that Solomon flashes across the face of goal. Dan James just about can't get his foot on it. Brings up a little bit of an issue in my head where it's a question of why did Peru start this match? Because he's not very good at being in the box at the end of chances, and that's how we were going to get those chances. We weren't going to have the nice passing play stuff, putting together an easy chance on an open goal. That isn't going to happen when you are playing against Blackburn, who are defensively very solid. You're going to get in positions to put in a cross, and Peru is not the person that finishes off crosses. That's a Bamford or that's a Joseph. But Peru played, didn't do too much, and was eventually brought off in a very, very big switch and rotation, in which we went to two up top. Something weird going on in the wide areas, but it works fine enough, I guess. There's a deeper dive to be done into that and why that happened. I feel like we are better in one striker formations in general, but we got a goal, which is sort of making it okay, I guess. Um, there is further questions to be had though about what's going on with our fullbacks right now, because having lost Byram and Bogle in that match, don't know what the nature of those injuries are, but we can keep an eye on them. It means that our fullback options at the minute, if we're lucky, are Schmidt and Voba. Not really a position that you want to be in. What is clicking behind me? But it's a position that we are in right now, and it's a position that we'll have to sort of dig through and find ourselves in a better spot from in the future. I don't know if we'll sign anyone in the transfer window, maybe a right back, just to have a little bit more depth there, because at the moment it's Bogle, it's Byram, who's mainly playing as a left back, and then it's question mark. Ampadu at the moment, which is not really what you want because that affects the depth at centre back and in central midfield. Ideally, we'd be in a position where we don't need to sign a right back, but we are having a little bit of an injury issue at the minute, so it's fine. Maybe a loan, I don't know. But when it came to replacing them, we didn't have aggressive options to do so. other than Schmidt, who didn't come on for reasons. I don't know. Maybe it was felt that if they counter against us, it's safer to have a Voba there, but he played in a very advanced position anyway. Complicated. But we ended up with a back four of four centre backs, which is a tough spot to be in, and meant that we didn't quite have those surging runs of Bogle in the second half, which I think is something that we quite severely missed. In terms of their goal, I hate to say it, but I called it. I was sitting right behind the dugout, and when they were bringing on their first substitution, I thought I'd have a look at the cheeky little folder that they've got, and they're like, "Oh, look at all these things." Every single one of the diagrams that they showed to their substitute was of a set piece. Nothing open play. I didn't hear any open play instructions, anything like that. So you could tell from the beginning they were like, "Okay, we will sneak a goal from a set piece, and we'll see what we can do there." Unluckily, it came after we took the lead. I'd rather it had not happen at all. Strouk, nice penalty, by the way. Sent Pairs the wrong way, slotted it home coolly. Lovely to see it. But it's another cause of the bust that is the same as against Blackburn the first time, and against Preston, and against Burnley, and is a significant part of why we're dropping points, and against Sunderland. It's switching off for a minute. It's a case of we scored a goal, everyone is joyful and happy, and isn't quite in that defensive mindset again. So they get a corner, we don't deal with it. It's in the back of our net. And then we've got 8 to 10 minutes of desperately trying to force our way into their goal, which wasn't going to happen because they were just able to time waste their way through it, as you saw by the fact that even their manager got a booking for trying to push that time wasting harder and harder. So I think the boom period came from what we are generally good at. It's that relentless aggression and forcing of mistakes. In this case, forced a mistake from a defender kicking Mateo Joseph. Won a penalty, scored a goal. But it's those little snapshot moments of errors that we keep on suffering from. And that is going to cause us some quite significant issues for the foreseeable if we keep letting them happen. At the end of the day, a point against Blackburn is not bad, but it could have been more than that. We could have been way more comfortably clear of the three teams behind us. Currently, we've got a game's worth of padding, which is good, but it's not what we need. What we need is to be as distant as possible. And I know that's not doable right now, but solve those little mistakes, and I think we are absolutely on for promotion without a question. Until that, I still think we'll go up, but I think we're making things tougher for ourselves, and that's not what we need at the minute. But at the end of the day, as always, that is just what I think. Sorry for the slightly janky setup. I'm at my parents' house at the minute because over in Leeds. Like the video if you enjoyed it. That's always really appreciated. Comment what you think the issue was and what you think we did really well down below. That's always really appreciated too. Subscribe if you're not yet. That's always fantastic. Or become a channel member if you're not yet. It's 99p a month, and it's just appreciated. It really helps the channel sort of push on. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Toodaloo. I hope the quality was good, because I can't tell.